Hey guys, this is Mike, and we're back here at Open It and Play, and I wanted to show you this new Battle Damage Spider-Man from the Marvel Legends series. This is a collaboration with Magic the Gathering. I'm not really a fan of Magic. I always felt like its artwork was not cohesive enough. Like, some really good art, but there's also some really crazy art. But I did get into the Battletech card game because I felt robots are more my style. But anyway, for this figure, the price is going to be the problem for most people. It is a problem for me too, but it is a little bit of a rip-off with this card costing you about an extra $15 for the figure, which is kind of crazy. Or at least I think that's about what it was. But let's get him out of the box and we'll take a look at the figure itself. Of course, we'll go through the accessories first, but the background, the background is really nice on this one. I love this background. That's the best background I've seen for a long time. But, okay, here is Spider-Man in the package. And you can see he does come with 3 sets of hands and the alternate head, which shows his damage. His costume has been ripped up and torn a bit, and he does come with this web shield and the web line, which we've seen both of those before. Like a lot of people, I was hoping he would come with a little web backpack. That's what the old Toy Biz one in the 90s came with, I think. But we'll see if they ever make one of those again. I have to try to make one myself. Okay, sculpting shouldn't be too hard for that. Okay, here is the web shield. And for the web shield, for the web shield, this time it has no paint on it. We can contrast it with this one from the Maximum series. You can see a little bit of shading in there. But this one's it's a virgin web shield. But I think a lot of people will still like it. I wish it was wider, but they always make it like this almost translucent look, so it seems to be hard for the camera to focus on. And unfortunately, it does have the clip in the back, but it's only a clip, so you got to watch out not to break that. Wow, it does not like to focus on that. Okay, and then we've got this web line, which should come out relatively easily. It does have some tape on it. Nothing too strong on this. Okay, and then this one, we've seen it before. It's nothing really impressive, but it does have that kind of little hook on the end, so you may be able to get it to hang on to something if you have the right setup. But it's kind of a throwaway accessory for somebody like me, so I prefer the wired ones from the internet, so from eBay, I should say. Okay, and then we'll look at the hands. So the alternate hands are wall crawling hands that we have here. These are quite nice because they're kind of big, easy to see. I know big sounds like a strange thing to say for Spider-Man hand compliment, but the Mafex really made me appreciate the bigger Spider-Man hands. Mafex hands are always so small, so I actually use my Maximum series hands for that. But and then you do have these web shooting hands, whipping hands. Wow, sorry. Okay, they're just here. Okay, and then we do have the alternate head. Peter Parker has seen better days. He's nice and beat up. He does have really nice hair, considering all things. But I do think they did a good job with this face. I wish his face was a little bit more of an angry or determined expression. Looks more passive, like he's looking for some help from somebody. And then the figure itself. No, actually, we should look at this, but we'll look at it really briefly. This is the back of the card. This is the front of the card, and you can see the abilities there. It's something I'm not going to use, so I'll probably just get rid of it. I don't know how. But. Okay, and Spider-Man out of the package. Here is a better look at the figure. Now this is mainly using the Renew Your Vows buck, but most of the parts have been modified a little bit to add these kind of scratches and scrapes and torn parts. So it's pretty impressive for the build. The old Battle Damage Spider-Man, it was always kind of stout or strong looking. So I don't mind if this is the slightly bigger build for Spider-Man. But yeah, my favorite Spideys are always like the slightly smaller Spider-Mans. So, okay, and we'll look at his posability. So starting with the head, we do have this problem because they didn't create a very good joint for this. It is what a lot of people would hope it would be, but unfortunately they designed it wrong. So this ball peg one is kind of defective. It barely moves whatsoever in there. So come on, Hasbro, you know how to make it a better design. They just want us to always be unhappy with something, so we buy another thing. But you can look up that far, which is really quite pathetic. And you can see in the back they even cut that part, but it just does not help much at all. He can look down almost not at all. So very disappointing. His head does wiggle a little bit around, so that's good. But he does have the butterfly joints, which work pretty well. His arms will go all the way around. He's got bicep cut, double jointed pinless elbows, and then the hands that we've seen many times before. He does have a diaphragm joint, which a lot of people will prefer for a Spider-Man. Can go back and forward pretty well. And then he does have, is this a reverse ab crunch, I believe? So he can go back really far and go down really far too. Okay, and then his legs do have the drop down hip technology, so he can kick up really high. If you push it, can do it even better. But I advise heating up these hips before you start moving the figure around, because it is kind of a crappy design. It fits too tight, and so you need to loosen it up before you play with him, pose him, whatever you want to say. Okay, his double jointed knees will go back like that. And then he does have boot cut, thank God. And he does have ankles that hinge back really far and forward really far. And he does have a toe joint. So he's really a good design for a Spider-Man. I like to combine the pieces. I'm putting this Maximum Series Spider-Man's web thwipping hand. So for me, this is a nice thing. I have one of these that I'm not using right now. And I actually like to put this head here onto my Maximum Series body here. So I keep hitting my camera, sorry. And to me, this looks pretty cool. I like this setup for this Spider-Man. Kind of the smaller build. Sorry, if I can get him to pose. There we go. I just like this smaller build usually. But as for the other one, I'll deck him out with his web shield and his alternate head. Okay. And again, we're using that Maximum Series web shooting effect or web thwipping effect, and give him some kind of fighting pose. He's kind of jumping into action here. Kind of like that. But I think this figure is very fun to pose. I think a lot of people will be happy with it. Even if you had only one Spider-Man figure, I think this is a pretty pleasing figure. Of course, he's not in pristine condition because he's battle damaged, but with the number of accessories and stuff that it comes with, everything is very satisfactory except for the price. That part is a problem. So, okay, guys, I'll show you his height real quick, and then we're gonna have to go because my kids' classes will start soon. So I'll stand him up here. Whoops. Whoa, he does look pretty tall at times. I'm gonna stand him here and we'll check this together. So his height looks to be around 6 and what is it? It's 6 and almost 6.5 inches. Okay, or a little over 16 centimeters, about 16.4 centimeters. I'm sorry, I think I'm gonna go. My kids are here early, so thank you guys for joining me, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye for now.